she'll tell me. All right, guys. So our next project is going to be using the 1-point perspective that we've been learning about and practicing about. Except this time, instead of using a horizon line, that horizontal line across the paper or canvas to show where the sky and the ground meet, we're going to imagine that suddenly maybe we're looking up. And if you can imagine looking up into the sky, you usually don't see the ground if you're looking like this or laying. You just see sky. So for this project, we're not going to include the vanishing point. Or I'm sorry, we're not going to include the horizon line. We're just going to put a vanishing point. And here's the thing. When you draw a vanishing point and you don't have a horizon line, it looks like things are getting sucked into space. So I call this project Sucked into Space. And it could be as scary or as fun as you want. It just has this really cool feeling. And many of you walked in and said, hey, that looks like things are getting sucked in or popping out. And that's what 1-point perspective does. So today I want to give you a couple tips while you're thinking about it. And we're going to plan today and tomorrow and start the project next week. So tip number 1, it helps sometimes if you have a theme. You don't have to, but maybe your theme is food. Kelly's theme was summertime because she did hers in June last year and she was excited about summer. It could be pets, it could be your family, it could be school, it could be art supplies, anything you want. And if you really don't want to do a theme, you don't have to, but it kind of helps out. Now the other thing I wanted to tell you is, this is kind of hard to imagine, but if the vanishing point is the place far, far away where things get sucked in, it would appear that things that are far away are usually smaller. So a good little just tip or technique when you're doing this is to draw things that are close to the vanishing point small, and then things that are around the edge of your paper really big or even going off the edge. And that'll make it look like it's really getting sucked into your paper. Do you see how Kelly kind of did that? She overlapped and she's got a little umbrella here close to her vanishing point and a big one here on the edge of the paper. All right, so here we go. I'm going to give you guys a couple pointers, just some things to give you ideas. One of the things that I really like to do as I draw is I draw big on the edge, but sometimes I draw skinny rectangles. And I don't know if you could see this okay. I'm drawing very light, so try to remember to draw light. Connect the corners, connect the corners. And if you draw skinny rectangles and you cut them off, that was weird. I want you to imagine, I'm going to erase my extra seating lines, that's why I'm going to draw light. I want you to use your imagination. Raise your hand. Tell me what this could be. So, got this going on. Faith, what could it be?
An ice cream cone? No. An ice cream cone that's like cut off.
I don't know if I understand what you mean by that. When you said ice cream, I thought ice cream sandwich. Like, you know, the short, flatter ones? So, yeah, you could do like an ice cream sandwich. So maybe on the edge, then, I would draw like the filling and then the other piece of, I don't even know what you would call that, like the cake. And then it has those dots and stuff on top, right? So that could be ice cream sandwich. Do you guys see how that could be the edge of it? Yeah. So if it's not an ice cream sandwich, that's a great idea. What else could it be? Vincent.
A block of wood.
A block of wood. Good. What else could it be?
Cup. Oh, never mind. I thought it was facing the other way.
Oh.
If it was facing the other way, then it would look like a cup.
Maybe. I'm thinking of things that are long, flat rectangles. Like maybe it's a book. Maybe it's an ice cream sandwich. Maybe it's a Sour Patch Kid package that comes from the movies. You know how they come in those flat rectangles? Maybe if I made it a little bit shorter, it could be like a pizza box. You know, the pizza box comes in those long, flat rectangles. So think about all the things that are packaged in long, flat rectangles. You could do that. Oh, I'll show you something else that could become. You guys are talking about ovals. So soda, ice cream. I'm going to draw a big oval, and I'm going to draw a little oval. And you, again, you don't have to do this, but I want you to start using your imagination. Think about packaging. An oval could become a cylinder, but so many things, even in this room, are cylinder shapes. So this could be, just look around. What kind of cylinders do you see? do you see?
The paint jars.
The paint jars. What else is a cylinder?
Paper towel roll.
Paper towel roll. Buckets. That bucket over there.
Garbage can.
Garbage can. So see what I'm saying? These basic 3D forms could become so many other things with the little details. So this could become like a soda cup. Yeah, or Pepsi, Coke, whatever. And then this tiny little oval. I love
Could be a twist.
doing little ovals. It could become a Twizzler. It could become a straw. It could become a paintbrush. What else could it become?
Pencil.
A pencil. Yep.
A pen.
So now you guys are starting to use your imagination. Instead of saying, I can't draw this, I can't draw that, maybe just draw a whole bunch of just basic forms, 3D forms, and see what they remind you of. Now, I'm going to do something kind of funky. I'm going to sketch a little bit. I'm going to start to add the details so you guys can see what I'm imagining. This is like old school. You know what? I'm even going to flip it around. I'm going to go crazy. And I love this project because I can turn. All right. This is old school. You might not know what this is. Oh, look at this. I'm going to draw a line here. Sometimes you could just draw a line, and I was teaching some of you guys this. Connect the line to the vanishing point and stop. Connect my ruler to the vanishing point, draw my line and stop. That was a cool noise. Elevator, go up. Boom. And I'm going to draw, I don't know if you guys see it yet, an iPod. Do you guys remember iPods? Can you start to see my iPod?
Yeah.
But you know what? I carried an iPod around for years, and I'm starting to forget what it looks like. So your homework is actually to get some resources. I would probably stop there, go on the computer, print out a photo of an iPod. If I wanted to do another box, I'm going to the movies, that's kind of funny, right? But if I'm going to the movies, and I really love Sour Patch Kids, that's why I keep talking about them, I'm actually going to go get a picture of the Sour Patch Kids, and I'm going to draw while looking at the picture of them. So I'm actually going to look at the box when I'm drawing this. And you could also, I'll show you guys the next step. So don't just say, oh yeah, Sour Patch Kids, like I don't know, it's like a yellow box, I think. Go get a picture. Go get a picture of your iPod. If you're doing a Pepsi can, if you're doing paint, go get the paint and look at it. Use your resources. But here's the problem. Not everything is a 3D form. Somebody was asking me yesterday a great question about organic things, because I think somebody asked me about a cloud. Like if you drew a cloud in 3D, it would look fake, like it's cut out of a block. So here's what you need to do for things like maybe the sunglasses perhaps, or something like the towel, yeah. What you can do is you can just draw what I call guidelines. So I'm going to line up my ruler with the vanishing point. I'm going to draw a light line for my vanishing point to my Sour Patch Kids box. I'm going to draw another light line from my vanishing point to my Sour Patch Kids box. And I'm actually not going to turn this into a shape. What this is doing is it's showing me something. It's showing me that if Sour Patch Kids were being sucked out of the Sour Patch Kid box, the first Sour Patch child would be about this big coming out of the box. And again, I'll have to look at a picture. But way down here, the Patch Kids get much smaller. And you can make like funny faces. Yeah, sorry. Well, it's weird if you think about that. You're eating children. Don't think about it too much. So I don't know if you guys can see, but my Patch Kids start out bigger and smaller. How did I know that? I just drew them in the guidelines. That's all. I didn't think about it at all. I just drew it in the guidelines. Same thing here. My iPod has earbuds, and I'm just going to draw random lines. You see these random lines coming out? Maybe I'm just going to draw a whole bunch of random lines coming out from the middle. And there's my drawing guidelines I'm going to erase later. So if my tube comes out here, my wire comes out here, and then it's getting sucked back in, it'll probably get pulled back in. And you know what? I think I need to make this a little thinner. I'll make another guideline. It's going to get pulled in, and it's going to start off this thick and get thinner. But again, my wire's probably not going to get pulled that straight. So I'm going to kind of go along the guidelines and use that to help me. So it'll be this wide, but then it'll get skinnier as it gets farther away. And I have my little earbuds. You see how I use the guideline to help me, thick to thin? That's the great part about this. You don't have to figure this out in your head. If you draw some guidelines and all you know is that smaller, bigger, smaller to bigger, let the guidelines tell you how big things should be. If you're going to make a straw coming out of this, don't just randomly make a straw going this way. Now you know you could draw your little oval, connect it to the same vanishing point. Do stop. Do stop. You don't necessarily have to go on top of your drawing. Make your curvy line. And now it looks like the straw is actually coming out. And maybe you're going to have soda shooting out of there. I don't know. What else do you guys need me to demonstrate? Any requests? Yeah.
I forgot.
Oh, she forgot. She's obsessed with ice cream. So what I want you to think about is ice cream things. Like if you have ice cream in a dish, maybe you just said dishes, not just cones, right? And curving line, curving line. And then maybe you have the ice cream coming out. Maybe, Faith, you have cherries. The sundae container, it opened up, all the cherries came out. Now, how big are they going to be? I don't know, but I got these guidelines, so maybe I have a big cherry here that goes off the edge, but down here it's a little smaller. Maybe I have tons of sprinkles, so maybe I'll draw a whole bunch of guidelines. And sprinkles are tiny, but they're going to be like bigger here, and then they get really tiny, and then they just become dots. And think about what else is in an ice cream shop. If that's your theme, it could be lots of cups. And here's the other good advice for you guys. Repeat. If you draw an ice cream cone and it's a rock star ice cream cone, draw 5 or 6 of them. Like, I don't know if you see, but Kelly, she liked her towel. She drew 2. She liked the lemonade. She drew 2. Sunblock, 2. Umbrellas, 2. You don't just have to draw 1 of everything. You could draw 10 of the same thing. And think about containers. Like if the school's getting sucked up, maybe you have a whole bunch of lockers that are long rectangles getting sucked in, and you have 10 of them. That's okay. Maybe one of them's opening up and it's a book. Maybe you're at the mall and you have this rectangle, and all of a sudden, oh snap, that rectangle's like a Macy's shopping bag. Again, I can't remember what Macy's looks like, so I'll go get a picture. And then you can have like your little clothes that you draw within the guidelines. Oh my gosh. And shoes. I don't know. That's my quick sketch for shoes. And maybe you have like just a random shoelace over here. When things get sucked into space, it's chaotic. Things are everywhere. So it doesn't have to look absolutely perfect. Question?
Can we print out the picture tonight and then start
Yep.
sketching?
So that's your
tonight?
homework. I'm also going to spend the next 5 minutes on the computer. If you come over real quick, we can get a couple things printed out for everybody. Okay?